What's good with YouTube? You already know, Big Flocka with a convict's reaction where we smash, dash, and react. Please hit the bell notification for future fire reactions. You can help support this channel in all ways by hitting that comments, hit that like button, man, do all the things you can to support the channel, man. So check it out. We're going to do a book review, one that you guys may be familiar with the writer of this book. And that's one John Boxer Mendoza from Paradigm Media News, man. And one that I've probably known Boxer for at least, what, 23 years. You know what I'm saying? A 23-year, friendship. I mean, for a long time, man. We haven't talked as much lately, here and there. But at one time, maybe we did a lot of work together, man. There's a lot of interesting things behind this book, man, is that probably as far as all the current books that are out there in regard to the NF, that talks about that time period from like the 89s to the 2000s. This is the most accurate book that there is, hands down, as far as during that time era, because he lived it. He was a part of some major things, man. And I'm in the book. Actually, there's about a half a chapter that's really talked about me. As he discussed in the book, he said that, it all started with me in San Jose. When I started to plug him in with all the different resources and whatnot, man. So let me look at this book. It's kind of unique that he wrote this while he was incarcerated, facing all that time and all the emotions that we're probably going through, man. Because I talked to Boxer one time, let me see, it was back in 2014. And we discussed about how hard it was, man, to, no longer be part of that life, man. And did he dwell on it? Did he think about it? Did it affect him at times? And, we had an honest conversation. I'm not going to go into it. That's kind of personal, but, we ran into each other. It's kind of an interesting story is that, and Boxer can confirm this, my brother and his brother, they call each other primos. My brother used to live with his brother, that was adopted after his father was killed. So lo and behold, they're like family and stuff, So it's kind of an interesting story, man. And that's how I got in contact with Boxer a few years ago. Anyways, like I said, the parts of this book that had me involved in it, it was like 99.9% accurate, to a T. The reason why we were getting that smiley was the only thing that he maybe doesn't recall, because there was so much other shit that we were involved in. There's a lot of things that he kept out of the book. The reason why we were getting that smiley was because I told Boxer about this dude was portraying to be that he had status and rank out there in the streets. And I got that information from Demetrius and Kojak. But other than that, I mean, everything else was 100% accurate. When we pulled up, dude was fucking scared of Boxer. I did the talking, Boxer was just observing everything. And as soon as Boxer started talking, the dude just switched up, man. At any event, though, he got a lot of his schooling from a lot of good canals that were, like, at that time were very influential. He had a lot of say, Big Rock, my MC, all his mentors were pretty much well regarded until Big Rock fell out of favor. But everything he discussed, there's a lot of things like that he talks about that I remember, that either I came after or I was there beforehand, like the Lucky Mendoza situation. Everything he said about that with Lucky is 100% accurate. Lencho waited till he went to a visit for dude to get moved on. I remember they asked Lucky for all the stamps. That's how Lucky pretty much knew he was going to get moved on. The whole yard was different. The conflict with him and Lencho. I got caught up in that conflict. They put me on freeze around the same time. I got cleared within a week, but I got put in the cross as well. All that stuff was legit. And as you guys know, I had my personal issues with Lencho, which led to me fucking leaving. So when you have me saying this, you have Boxer saying this, and you have other people like Toko saying this, it goes to show with the type of character that we had to deal with. The reason why Lencho at times was very effective in what he did was because he always had the people that had contact. He was in contact with people a lot of times. Whereas sometimes our security, and when he did that, he put himself in a position to where he breached the security all the time. And sometimes you don't want to go through every avenue, and you can lose contact right when you get locked up. But if I was going to tell you guys about a book that you want to understand about the NR, the NF from the 90s to like the 2000s, Paradigm Media News book, Broken Paradigm. 100%, probably one of the most accurate books that there is. You know what I mean? You know, when it comes to the history of the 60s and 70s and 80s, we all have different type of people we get our information from. You know, our schooling, different resources, different research, right? So we weren't there. We weren't present. But a lot of stuff that he talks about, I was there. Some of these individuals he speaks about, I know these individuals. I worked under Boxer, you know what I'm saying? Twice, you know? And so, and I know all the individuals that he got caught up with in San Jose. A lot of them I know personally well, you know what I'm saying? So in reading this book, you know, it kind of, it brings back a lot of memories. You know, a lot of good dudes, Janiquas, fucking Sonny, Demetrius, fucking Monster, you know what I mean? You know, all these cats, man, that I had interactions with all that time, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And I knew a lot of these dudes used to work with me too. You know what I'm saying? Even afterhand, a lot of them that got out from the first indictment. And, you know, everything that occurred in San Jose was like, this is Boxer had San Jose. They were moving. They were doing some big things out there, man. It brought a lot of attention, man. And, you know, it brought a lot of changes out there. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that he talks about the dude that Julio and all that, and the business and the people that were working with him, and all the way down to Chewy and all these other different cats, man. They're all bona fide individuals that were in the mix. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, there's always going to be those that are going to sit there and, you know, have a certain opinion based upon the choices and decisions people make, man. But they can't take back, you know what I'm saying, the credibility in what people have done. The sacrifices people made during those years. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that many of us were involved in. You know what I'm saying? We all played an intricate role, you know what I'm saying, into what was going on during post-Black Widow. You know what I'm saying? I was out there pre-Black Widow and post-Black Widow. And Boxer was a very influential member that was well respected and, you know, out there in the streets. You know, there was a certain group of C's that were always in contact communication that we all knew out there in the Calles that, you know, as things were operating, you know, it was, you know, everything was legit. You know, these dudes were making sacrifices knowing that at any time we could get caught up and be looking at life. But the cutthroat politics came into play a lot with a lot of people. And his description of Lencho is 100% accurate. I've said the same fucking thing. And it's just unfortunate that there goes those that yield power, right? That or influence, that they get ahead of the story. They get ahead of filing the report. Or if they find something that is negative against you, they use it against you because apparently there's always been that animosity. And see, I told Boxer right after, I said, you know, the biggest issue was what was going on at that time with the San Jose regiment. When he was trying to clear his name is that these dudes from San Jose just didn't like you because you weren't from San Jose. And that's Scout's honor. That's the truth, man. And I told Boxer that. So even if he was trying to present his case and whatnot, they had already made a decision. And Lencho was very influential in that decision. You know what I'm saying? As well as there was other people who were his cronies that were following lead. You know, I remember getting calls and I'm being given directives to sit there and filter information back to the county jail. And it's like, man, you know, what do? You know, you get put in a cross situation. So in reading the book and the details of what he went through, and, you know, he did not do what he did till 2007. Those are facts. But that label was being put on him years earlier. That was untrue and it was unjustified. And no one really talks about that, man. And they made his decision easy for him because they pushed him away. They gave up on him and put a false jacket when it wasn't even the truth. And I know that through the sources I have. I thought it was earlier. You know what I'm saying? But when, you know, with this book though, it goes into, you know, his personal emotions, his feelings, his questions of relationship with God, you know, his relationship with his, you know, his wife who passed away, and, you know, with his mom, and, you know what I'm saying, his drug usage at one point, you know what I'm saying, the robberies he used to do, and the different things that made him into who he was. You know, none of us had an easy life. We all come from different sides of the track. Some of us had a little bit better than others. Some of us had it worse. You know what I'm saying? But you can understand the struggles and the pain in this book of what he's went through, and that this is all the life that he's ever known up until this point. You know what I'm saying? Now he can live free as a man today. And I think that a lot of us go through that struggle. And for anybody that's, dealing with those struggles, this is a book to read, man. You know what I'm saying? And the inner demon stories, I'm watching those all the time. I just sit back in the cuts and just observe. I don't always comment, but there's a lot of game there, man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that time period of 89 to like 2004, and all areas that were going on, I would cross-reference anything through Boxer because I know it's going to be credible or valid to the best of his knowledge. Not everything do we know about each other or what was going on at that time, because every regiment was different. And technically, you were not supposed to breach information. But Boxer was entitled to a lot of information that a lot of other C's weren't at that time. You know what I'm saying? Lencho was another one that was entitled to information. You know what I'm saying? A homeboy from Police was, Hollister, Pocky, of course, Bubba, Wino, and there was a few others, in different areas. And it was a time era that there was a lot of pressure being put up on everybody. I don't think anybody talks enough about what was going on with the power struggle that was started to exist between the Bay and fucking the feds. You know what I'm saying? Because up until that point, everybody was still in Satarino or Oakland. Everybody was sending their visitors that way. You had people like fucking Sammy Wino that were coming out, fucking Kramer, and all kinds of other individuals with different directives that were coming from the Bay. And there was a big discussion about what to do. You know what I'm saying? Even when Pocky got out, you know what I'm saying, he still plugged in with the feds. And so there was a lot of stuff, filters coming out and question marks about what to do next. You know what I'm saying? And it was basically a political spectrum going on that a lot of people don't realize how serious it was getting, man. You know what I'm saying? And after Boxer was no longer, out there in the streets and was locked up, there was a lot of stuff going on out there that was pertaining to things that were going on for like the last 4 years while all of us were out there, man. There's still stuff to this day that Boxer knows, that I know, and that other people know that we won't even discuss. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's just the ramifications behind it could be too severe. You know what I'm saying? And, this book, though, it highlights everything pretty good, man. And his character feel for the different individuals he met and what he thought about them. Made it kind of interesting. It's a book that definitely, if you haven't read, tap in and read it, man. And you'll see your boy Flacco in there on about fucking shit. I think I'm on about 10 or 12 pages, man. And it just shows what type of person I was. That I was put on special assignment, that, that I did have a lot of resources and that I was a moneymaker. My whole life, that's all I've ever been able to do was generate income as an adult. You know what I'm saying? You could take me in any neighborhood, put me anywhere, and I was going to find the resources and get a squad going and making that money. Anyways, shouts out to Boxer for Paradigm Media News. Good book. I'm looking forward to his part 2, his next book that's supposed to come out, man. With that said, it's your boy Flacco. I'm gone.